My embodiment PSA on Instagram today was about neuroplasticity, and also it's not so different from growth in your body or in your experience of being a human. And it's like that all happens when we are uncomfortable, right? When we push the edge, when we extend the boundary a little bit further. So things like that aren't happening in the comfort zone. They're happening when we get to that edge. So like if you're training, it's like when it becomes almost too hard to do something, that's when you're going to grow your muscles. And it's the same with your neuroplasticity of your brain and all the stuff. Like that's why like deliberate cold training or training yourself to do something that's difficult, but choosing to do it where you have control over it is a great way to expand your edges, expand your boundaries. So let's just start with breath. Inhale, get big, see if you can breathe more. A little extra, couple more sniffs. And then on the exhale, let it go with a long hiss exhale. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Couple extra sniffs in, and then exhale. Shake it all out at the end. And again, inhale, fill up, expand. Take a little extra sip and an extra one. Get bigger and longer. And exhale. Shake it out. Jostle up your lungs a little bit. So right, we're going to, when we fill up our lungs and then we take that extra sip, it's like, oh, we're pushing it just a little further. And when we extend our exhale and then really shake it all out, we're just taking it a little further. So again, that's that finding the edge, just making it a little bit bigger. Of course, if it's super uncomfortable, don't do it. Listen to your own body. So big inhale, first exhale everything out, and then inhale. When you feel like you've reached the top, a couple more sniffs. And then let it go. So like we could be very soft and gentle with our bodies also. So you may be somebody who's a super duper worker outer. Well, if you've made it here, you probably are more soft and gentle. But we want to expand the edge, whether it's the edge out there or the edge in here, so that we have more capacity to deal with whatever's happening, right? We've become very sort of rigid often as a culture and as people, like we must do this thing and push through, but at the expense of like the fluidity and the connection that we might feel if we could soften a little bit. So let's work with softening. Let's just do the softening in like a really flow way around your body. Could be kind of qigong, like you're moving water around your body or moving water within your body. Just giving yourself some flow, right? This ongoing smooth movement. And as you're in that flow, the ongoing smooth movement, start to see, is it sort of a free flow that's easy and fluid and like young, like a child or a baby with free flow? Or is it more of a bound and contained, mature flow that really knows where it's going? So give yourself a chance to play with those ideas of free flow, really fluid and easy, and then bound flow where it's more mature. There's a little more tension in the bound flow because it knows where it's going. It's still flow, it's ongoing, but it has control, right? It's controlled flow as opposed to the free flow, which is really like, oh, I could go anywhere with this. Free flow is often easier if you speed up a little, like add some speed, find some lightness in the movement. That often helps it be free flow. And then shift it to the more bound flow. It has more deliberate movement, like I'm going to go exactly here and then I'm going to do this thing. Just playing with those ideas, freedom, and well, it's like basically it's a spectrum of attention pattern, right? Like the more free flow is like, wow, it's open, it's got complete capacity. It might go too far. And then the bound flow, it might not go far enough. It might be too rigid and restricted, but it could also be very comfortable and familiar. So just playing with those ideas, how are they showing up in your own life? We're going to do a circle on one side and then a circle on the other. So what you can kind of feel if you let it happen is this sort of suspension at the top and then a speeding up as it goes down. Letting ourselves play with this suspension and gravity, just as we're letting the arms circle, freeing up the pattern of being who we are by giving some different dynamics to the qualities of the movement, right? This is a very Laban based class today, actually. So let's bring that in, and I want to do the twists, and we're even going to include the musical theater twist in there. So starting with just regular spirals, letting your arms float through the horizontal plane, looking all the way around behind you. So if you're standing kind of evenly on both feet, we're going to have the spiral going around our central axis, right? The central channel of our body. We're spiraling around that. Then I can start to let myself shift my weight and bend my knees as I come around into the spiral. Still really kind of free flow in the arms, but I'm going to change it now. I'm going to let it be really reaching out, coming in, reaching out. I like to call this the musical theater version, where we're really radiating out and then coming in, radiating out, taking it this incline. So my arms are going out and up, and then I'm coming in. So it's like I'm painting the rainbow. I'm showing something. I've got more energetic engagement into that throw and then I'm softening and slowing down as I come around into the spiral, right? You might be doing something totally different. The whole idea is just that we play with this. Let's do the more regular sort of Qigong version where we're flexing, shifting our weight, looking over our shoulder, just feeling into what that one's like. Allowing yourself to really breathe, lots of breath, right? So if we want to find our boundaries or our edges, we also want to find what's comfortable. Oh, this one feels really easy. When I'm asked to really throw out, oh, that's not so comfortable. So there's an edge. Or that's what I love to do. I love to throw it all out there. But when I have to slow down and soften, that might be the edge, right? So letting yourself figure out what's the natural pattern that you like to do. And these may be different at different times of the day. And then what's the pattern that's a little bit more of a challenge? Let's take it down to the floor. Let me just show you the pea pod's P. There's her little P right there in the middle. And we're going to do a spiraling pattern down here on the floor. So it's the same type of thing. Let's just start with rolling across your butt, letting your body weight and the gravitational pull of the earth massage out your glutes and give some integrity to those hip sockets, right? We're letting ourselves maybe going over our greater trochanter, the top knob of our femur head. And then we're going to add the arms up and the spine, taking it down, opening, opening. Again, here's that musical theater, paint the rainbow. I don't know, it's like we got the spread out fingers radiating out and then surrendering down. Open, open, lift, up and out, and taking it down. Breathing into that, letting that massage through, and then we're going to change it again. So this time we're going to come across, stepping through and taking it into a little back bend. Maybe not the biggest ones, circling, serving the sandwiches through the middle, and then up into the arch and coming down around. My bottom knee is on the floor. I taught this class at the gym yesterday, and I gotta say, looking at what people were doing, I was like, wow, there's not a lot of connection between their visual learning, what I'm saying, and what they're doing in their bodies. So if that's you, if you're going, what the hell is going on? Take your time, watch it a few times, like to learn movement, you need to know what it is, right? Maybe you're doing something totally different and maybe that's what your body needs. So that's fine too. But if we want to learn the pattern, this knee is on the floor, this one crosses over. I press up onto my knee and then I come back down. Yeah, I had all sorts of versions of this going on. I was like, very interesting. Even though, like, here's the beginning of the pattern, the spiral. Now, the second step of the pattern, we got to step over and leave the knee on the floor. And then the third step, we come up and we take it into an archy back bend. If that feels good. We can also be a little more like, okay, I'm just going to come a little bit. Maybe I asked too much. But I think people start getting like they go to the gym to do what they've done 1,000 other times at the gym, right? But if we want to shift and change and learn and grow, we got to start doing some different things. And I think we can see that as a culture and in the planet that, not working so good the way we've been doing things. Maybe it's time to start changing things. And where does that change really start? It starts in your body. You start to change what's going on in there and become comfortable with variety, fluidity, adaptation. You can deal with a lot more in the world. All right, let's sit in a cross-legged position. We're going to do the familiar, circling around. If you've done this class with me before, you've probably done this. We're going to circle the whole way around. But if you haven't, and this is new, then excellent. Side stretch. This arm continues to reach out into space, and then the other one, and then we open back up. So it's kind of a long port de bras movement if we were talking in sort of balletic terms. Movement of the arms. But in this movement of the arms, we've got a lot of movement of our torso, right? Side stretch, over the knee, forward, around, and open. One more time going back. Yeah, I feel like this is another one of the exercises that for me, let's change legs. I only do it if I'm teaching, and it really helps my lower back. Like as we're moving forward and through in these positions, those help me a lot. So let's go slower on this other leg front, non-dominant leg in front. Take it to the side, wiggle your fingers around, bring some awareness into the hand, right? So we're relating this core distal pattern, center to edge. Take it down over your knee. If you want to be exciting there, maybe free up the spine a little bit. Allow yourself to ripple and wave in any direction. Take it into center and the same thing, freedom in the spine. Head-tail connection or tail-head connection, depending on how you look at it. Feeling your sit bones, letting your pelvis move. Take it to the other knee, and again, same thing, free up the spine. Wiggle. And then take it to the side, fingers, core distal relationship, center to the edge. Center to the edge, feeling that connection. One whole body, it's all connected. Even if it feels like it's not connected to you, it's still connected, right? It's not like, oh, there's nothing happening here, that part of my body is gone. It may be like that in your brain, but in reality, it's all connected. What is reality anyway? All right, let's change it. Yeah, we are living in one whole body that's completely connected. So even if you feel like there are disconnections, maybe there's a disconnection in your sense of flow in your body, but the things are still connected. Back of the hands towards each other, and then inhale. Open it up. Let's take it over our legs and inhale. Open it up. Back of the hands and inhale. Open, exhale. Round forward, surrender. Inhale, open. Rotate the hands, spiral, and open, and just surrender forward, soften, and then stack it up. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, take it forward, soften and melt. Open it up. Exhale, back of the hands towards each other. Inhale, exhale forward. Open it up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let's change it. Halfway down and then spiral open. And let's just take it rounding forward here and then inhale up. Back of the hands together. Inhale. Spiral open. Exhale. A little surrender forward. Inhale. It's very modern dance. Exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale, curl. Inhale, open. Back of the hands towards each other. Inhale, open. Exhale. Yeah, so how do you find the edges of things? By playing. What happens? Oops, sorry, I'm supposed to spiral this way. What happens when I need to change this? What can I do? I could arch, I could curl, I could mobilize. There's these possibilities. So how do I find more possibility? By playing with it. Inhale, open, exhale, surrender. Inhale, lift. Back of the hands towards each other. This is our last one. Open it up, curl. Inhale, and let's take it all the way down to the floor. Onto your back. And let's go opening and closing with the legs. Actually, let's just leave them like that for a second. So open and close. Slow it down enough that you can start to sense into both sides and see if you're opening and closing fairly evenly. Like it might be that one goes and then the other. Can you do it so that there's a very smooth opening and a very smooth closing where we're kind of balanced right in the middle between bound and free flow? So there's a sense of ease, ideally, letting it happen, right? Taking the brakes off so that there's fluidity in the movement, but also letting it be specific, that we're opening evenly, if we can, with both sides, and closing. Yeah, let's do this a little bit differently. You're going to open your feet a little wider, open, and then close. So we're going to get some internal rotation here at the top of the femur head, right? If I have my legs together, it doesn't get that same amount of internal rotation as if my feet are apart. Playing with that opening, and then exhale, internal rotation. Let's add something to that internal rotation moment. Let's just add a little arch. So it's kind of like you're sticking out your tail, and then you can release your spine, let it open. So spine could be neutral. Close it in, and then add an arch by lifting your waist up off the floor, right? Creating that arch, opening it up, closing and adding the arch. So now we're doing more, so it's not going to be quite so, don't worry about being so specific with your legs. Think more about what is the spine doing. Adding that little arch there. Yeah, the pattern of turned in while sticking out your butt is something that humans don't do a lot. So we're just getting that pattern where we get this internal rotation with this arch so that the extension of the back, internal rotation in the legs, and then letting that soften and open, giving our tissue a chance to do something a little bit different, right? Expanding what is possible, opening out. You can add your arms if you feel like being exciting. Sometimes if we add the arms, then the legs understand better what's going on. Open and it's funny, as a teacher, so often I will do with my arms demonstrate with my arms what my legs are supposed to do or what my legs are going to do. All right, coming in. That's enough of that. Let's just take a little rock, pushing and pulling with your feet a little bit. So you could feel your hamstrings firing up depending on how much you're pulling. You can take your hands, just put them down there above your sit bones, between your sit bones and your knees, so you can feel your hamstrings firing up, right? And then let that go. And let's roll it all the way up, rolling up through your spine. You're going to push back, and then you're going to pull forward and roll it all the way down to the floor. When you hit the bottom, you're going to arch again. Let's arch and turn in the legs. Then the legs will come back to neutral. The spine comes to neutral. We roll it all the way up. We're going to inhale, exhale, pull forward, roll it all the way down. And then inhale, arch, internally rotate, exhale, bring it back to parallel with the legs, roll it all the way up. Inhale, chest to chin. Exhale, knees away from you. Roll it down. So we're kind of like accordioning our body and our spine with this different patterning of internal external rotation with the legs, and also rolling, pulling, pushing through our spine. A couple more of those. Inhale, arch, internally rotate the legs, stick out your butt, lift your waist up off the floor. Exhale, flatten that out, parallel. Roll it up through your spine. Inhale, chest to chin. Exhale, knees away from you. Roll it down all the way to the bottom. Internally rotate and arch. Exhale, bring it back to neutral, roll it all the way up. Inhale, chest to chin, push with the legs. Exhale, pull, roll it all the way down. Internally rotate, come into that arch, and then relax. And let's do a happy baby. Let your happy baby be happy, and baby like free it up, let it go. Wiggle around. Hamstrings opening up, right? We just worked them a little bit, so the blood is flowing through them a little bit. So this is a good time to let them stretch a little bit. And then let's roll back and forth if rolling feels good. If you feel happy and you're happy baby and you want to stay there longer, go for it. But if you're okay with rolling forward and backward, try that. Okay, so we're going to do something a little bit, maybe more advanced, maybe not, depending on how much you roll back and forth, how much plow you do. We're going to take it into a plow. Take your hands on your hips, and you're just going to walk your legs over to one side, bring them back into center, walk them over to the other side, bring them back into center. Legs going one way. If this hurts, don't do it. Bring it back. Legs going the other way. Bring it back. So this would be the beginning of walking your legs to one side, bend your knees, and roll and come up, right? Oh my goodness, look at this. All this excitement. So the same thing, you could go to your plow, walk your knees to the other side, bend your knees, and come up and through, right? You don't have to do that right now. It's just the beginning of that plan. Oh, what am I going to do with the shoulder roll? Forward, yes. So the thing about doing shoulder rolls and stuff like that is the first few times you do them, you might get a little bruised up. But then after a while, once you become accustomed to them, your body can adapt. You learn to yield to the floor a little bit, and ideally, you are not going to get hurt. So just be careful. You don't have to do a shoulder roll, but you could. But if you are doing shoulder rolls, try to even it out so you're doing them on both sides. And that's just the beginning of that exploration. Doesn't mean you have to do it, but it's a possibility. Let's come in, arms out to the side, dropping the knees one way and then the other. Use the floor, use your back. If your back feels good, turn your head away from your legs. If your back is hurting, you could turn your head in the same direction as your legs. I'm going to straighten out my legs and make this a little bit more challenging. Breathing. One side and then the other. Yeah, so our body loves diversity. Our tissue loves diversity. So if you're doing the same stuff all the time, which probably if you're following me, you are not doing the same stuff all the time. There's a little variety in there. And ideally, you're doing other things too, like walking, hiking, running, swimming, whatever it is. Other things that give you a little more cardio work. All right, let's open up to the side, both legs out, and you're going to bend. It's like you're swimming to the side with your legs. This might be up here and you're just doing this, right? Kind of like you're pedaling. If you're more open, I'm trying to get my sit bones to lengthen on one side and then the other. It's not my bones that are lengthening, but the side of my body, right? And I could flex my feet there. Just getting some freedom in my core while still working it, right? It's mobilizing and engaging at the same time. Shake it out. Internally rotate both legs. Take a little spinal rock there. Let your head and tail connection free up. Head, neck, jaw, rib cage. Sending a wave in and then turn it in one leg at a time. Feet are wide. Internal rotation one side and then the other. Allowing that to massage out your hip that you're rolling across. I think we're going to turn over really soon. Is there anything else I want to do here? I do want to do one more thing. Let's do pelvis up. Feet are fairly close to each other. Hands are down by your sides. And we're just going to do a little march. So pelvis is high, and you're marching. Your leg is going to stay bent as it comes up. So it's like this little easy thigh lift as your pelvis is lifted. And think of pushing the floor away so that the leg just floats up. So the standing leg is pushing into the floor. so that frees up the working leg. Pushing up. Good. We're going to change it. So you're going to take your first leg up, reach it to the ceiling, circle your ankle outward, press up high, circle your ankle inward, point your toes, pulsing through the ceiling, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fold it in. Let's just come down for a second. Take a couple of big deep breaths. Breathe big into your lungs, into your belly, into your pelvis. And then the other side goes up. Hands can be down by your sides or out to the side, either way. Other leg up, outward circles with your foot, inward circles with your foot, and then pulsing up, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to fold it in, take it down, really loose knee drops for a second. So this is our intermediary activity before we go for our big hamstring stretch, which we're going to do. Actually, we're going to stay on our backs. I thought we were going to flip, but we're going to stay on our backs for this. So now you've softened the tissue. It's not all engaged. We're going to take the first leg up, draw it in towards you. Bottom leg can be straight or bent, whatever feels good to you. We're going to flex the knee and ankle and extend and point. So this could be happening where you're holding the back of your leg, depending on your flexibility. I'm finding little bits of cardboard from the cat's scratching post stuck on my body. Flex your knee and ankle, extend and point, open it up, flexing it in, reaching and opening, flex it in, stretch it out, flex it in, stretch it out. And I'm taking mine slightly to the side. If I do it here, I can't go as far as if I bring it out to the side a little bit. So I'm taking my knee towards my shoulder and just a little bit to the side there. Can I go as far if I get more of a stretch here? Woo, hello. Good. We're going to cross it over the midline of the body and then open it out. I'm going to exhale, cross, and I'm going to point as I cross and then flex as I open. Pointing across, flexing and opening, pointing across, flexing and opening. 2 more, cross and open. Last one, cross and open. Bring it in, bend the knee, spiral all the way across your body. Breathe. You can open both arms or you can grab your leg. Sometimes I like to grab my ribs with this side and just take it a little deeper. And then come in. Both feet on the floor, pick up your butt, shake, 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 let it go. Into the other side. Hands wherever, foot, hamstring, wherever you're grabbing. Flex your knee and ankle, extend and point. Flex it in, reach it out. Bottom leg can be straight or bent, either way. If you're having a hard time getting this leg all the way up to a 90-degree angle, bend your knee. That will give you a little bit more movement. If you can easily get past 90, try straightening. Flex and extend, breathing. Inhale, exhale. Imagine you're breathing through the leg, right? On a cellular level, we are breathing. So think of that breathing not just happening in your lungs, but happening in every cell in your body. And it's happening easily with no effort at all. Breathing. So I'm doing a pretty active inhale, active sniff through my nose, and then on the exhale, I'm slowing down the exhale a little bit. One more time. And another one more time. And then crossing pointed, opening flexed. It should probably be inhale open, exhale closed, but you could work the pattern in the other way. There's always an argument for the other version. So play with it. Just be aware with what you're choosing, what's going on. And now I'm slowing down both the inhale and the exhale. And fold it in. Take it over to the other side. So when we affect our inhale and exhale, it's going to affect our autonomic nervous system, which is our parasympathetic and our sympathetic. So the fight, flight, freeze, and the rest and digest, soothe, and settle. But on a more functional level, press it up and shake it out. If you are kind of active and excited, we could say you're parasympathetic, like that, but that could be on the other edge of that anxiety, right? I'm very upregulated. Woo! I'm ready to party, whatever that means. Or I'm so downregulated, like I'm depressed, that there's no action happening. Doesn't mean like, I mean, downregulated, slowed down. But if I do a very active breath with a slower exhale, I've got both things happening in one breath, right? Which is activating and up and then taking it back down. So in a weird way, it's kind of a little toning for your autonomic nervous system to start to notice, and then notice how you feel. Like if I just go, right, it's a lot of upness in my body. If I go slow inhale, slow exhale, there's more downness in my body, right? Grounding, taking myself down to the earth, or up to the inspiration, up to the heavens, right? There's the heaven and earth balance. And it will be different at different times of the day with different thoughts in your head. Like sometimes the upregulation feels really good. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes the downregulation feels really good. Sometimes it's too much. And sometimes if we're in that really depressed state, it's not actually really downregulated. We're not actually in a place where we can process. We're shut down. So just noticing what those things are. Breath has so much power to shift things for us. Oh, I just have to look at the chat really quick. Okay, alrighty. Let's flip over to hands and knees. Okay, so coming onto hands and knees, we are going to actually do something for our feet because it feels good right now. So I'm going to curl my toes under and I'm going to reach my sit bones back towards my heels. I'm just going to take a little rock there. I feel like you see babies doing this, kind of rocking in that position. Feel into your body as you're in your rock. If it hurts too much, then come forward, make it easier. Like do whatever you need to do. Gentle rock. And then you're going to go over the top of your feet, take it back in a rounded position, and maybe a slower pulse there, right? Breathing into that. Good, then we're going to just go back and forth. Curling the toes under, you're going to bend your elbows. It's like you're pulling on the floor, so you're firing up your not your pecs. Yeah, you are. You're firing up your pecs, your lats, and your triceps. And you're pulling your sternum forward, sticking your butt out, and then over the top of the feet, rounding your spine, curling, push with your arms. Toes curl under, shoulders drawing down, arch, and then push and curl. Pulling with the hands. It's a very activated pose. And then push and curl. Oh, I wanted to say this before, and I've said this in other classes, and that is that cats can kind of spring their spine. That's why they can look really compact or really extended. And that's how they go so fast, right? Through this mobility of the spine. Well, we also have some mobility in our spines. We have those cushy little marshmallow discs in there. We can elongate, we can sink down, right? The whole spine is created with those curves that I can take the curves out or I can rest into the curves, right? So I'm extending and releasing, right? So if we think about our spine as being really a living system that is alive within the whole system of our one body, then sometimes it's easier than thinking, oh, there's something wrong right here. This part is broken or this is a problem or whatever. But thinking of it as this whole living system that has a tremendous capacity to adapt and change if we use our breath, if we breathe with movement in our whole body, if we add these free flow patterns, right? We've learned to inhibit movement. Can we learn to bring it back online? So one way to do that are these undulation patterns, just letting your tail to head ripple through, right? It doesn't have to be the biggest movement in the world. It can be whatever. And this is also where I was talking about that feeling like you're stuck somewhere in your body. There's Gaylord. He's probably going to try and go sit on the chair with the pea pod. She probably won't let him. You can also go head to tail, right? And my shoulders really free up with that. Letting your spine and your body ripple forward and backward, creating this undulatory pattern. And inside there, our nervous system and the cerebrospinal fluid inside our spine, it's very fluid. It's very mushy. It's not like this hard thing, right? There are the vertebrae on the outside, which the bones are the hardest things in our bodies, bones, teeth, fingernails, maybe. But they still have life energy in them. They're not like dead things. They're alive. They're responding to everything around them. So we want to invite in that life energy, spaciousness in our spinal cord, spinal column, spinal river, so that we aren't getting that stenosis where things are calcifying and becoming crusty, right? We're using movement to become more fluid, allowing this free flow. So let's add in the pattern of side-sideness. So we've got this head to tail, we've got the side-sideness of our bodies, we've got the forward-backness, the up-down, and the side-side. So bring in that whole pattern. Let's add the theta breath and just free flow your spine. So if you feel like you're getting into some kind of pattern of movement, try slowing something down or shifting it, unless the pattern is just this undulation and you want to work on that. Like first, sometimes we have to go from form into freedom. So working in whatever way feels right to you. We're not trying to go for the hugest flexibility, but we do want decent mobility so that we have the capacity to move, but not that we need to be in these really extended positions that, like, if we were contortionists we might need, or if we were pole dancers or dancers we might need, but as regular humans we don't necessarily need that much. Or maybe if we're yogis and we need to be really flexible too. But really I'm more interested in mobilizing and awakening parts of your body so that there's connection and flow. And the connection is a felt sense of connection, as opposed to the fact that it already is connected. Can I feel into that? All right, let's give our wrists a break, just in and out, circling in, circling out, right? Presenting with the hands and fingers, bringing it in, waking up that. It's interesting, people who play piano or guitar, or people who do needlepoint or something specific where you really have to have dexterity with your hands, right? And this connection to what's going on. Even playing video games can be very dexterous, right? Those are ways that we train the movement, but we don't often spend time training this sort of fluidity and flow in our hands, in our wrists, feeling the wings of the heart, the wings of the lungs, which are our arms, and inviting in this same thing, this sort of undulatory flow. I find often when I'm eating, I'll have I'll be eating, but my other hand is doing a really flow pattern. And I don't know, to me that like calms me, like, oh, that weirdo, she's doing all that stuff. But it like puts me in the sense of flow. I don't need to be moving my whole body to find the sense of flow. I can just do it with one small body part. And what happens when I'm in flow? Oh, I'm going to be able to digest better. I'm going to be able to take things in more easily. I'm not fighting against stuff. I'm allowing. All right, let's take it on to our forearms. Forearm plank. One knee to the floor at a time, parallel, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to go intense, pushing forward and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going for a walk? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Crossing under. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last one. Leg up one at a time, alternating sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And take it down. Relax. Bend your knees. Let your legs fall from side to side. And then let's go right into regular old Pilates swimming with a pumping breath. So the pumping breath is a big sniff, huff and puff. So very active inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift the whole thing up. Float it around. And take your hands next to your chest. Arch and open. And take it down. Maybe initiating with your head and your eyes, looking up, arching, arching, arching all the way. If you want to bend your knees, you can. And taking it back down. Up, 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 up. And down. And then taking it back to a child's pose. Surrender, melt, let go. Free up your spine. Wiggle, let your belly hang down. Breathe into your guts. And then shift your weight back, coming up. Let me just do a quick time check because, of course, we don't have a clock in here. Okay, we're going to do a leg thing, and then we'll do some stretching, and then we'll finish it off. If you are out there in TV land and you are doing these classes, feel free to buy me a coffee or subscribe to my Patreon. What else? Or just share it. Tell your mom about the class. Tell your sister, tell your brother. Reach your leg out behind you. You're going to lift, take it out to the side, lower down. Up, bring it back into midline. Find midline, lower. Midline, out to the side, drop, up. Bring it back into line, lower. Up, to the side, drop, up, back, lower. Up, to the side, drop, up, back, down, up, to the side, drop, up, back, down. Two more. Up, to the side, drop. I'm super not counting. I'm guessing we're somewhere between 8 and 10. Good. Let's switch it right away to the other side. Up, out to the side, down, up. Bring it back to midline where you feel your balance again on both hands. Up to the side. So I lift up one hand a little bit as I shift the leg out to the side. Come back to midline. Up, out, down, up, center, down. Midline, side, down, up, back to center, down, up, side, down, center. 3 more. 1, 2. If it's getting hard, this is where that edge is, and things change, right? This is where it changes. Bring it in. Let's do circles with your hips. So circling down and then sticking your butt out in the back. Big circles. Freedom in the spine. Let your head-tail connection be free. Let it move however it wants to. Change direction. And I have these weights that we haven't used at all today. I actually want to do something with the block. If you don't have a block, you can do it without it, but it's going to be a lot easier with the block. So we're going to do this thing. I haven't done it in a long time. I'm sitting on my knees. You can sit anyway. You can even stand. Pushing the block together. So I'm like smashing it, like I'm trying to squish it in. It's just going to go up and down. Going 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pushing forward. 1, 2. Oh, for people that are watching this also, they've changed things on YouTube So if you want to see like what is happening on like what I'm letting out, what I'm releasing, what I'm doing, or what has just been done, you have to click onto the part that says live. Like if you look at the live things, you'll see, I think, what has just been put out. All right, we're going to change it. You're going to go up, forward, and in. Up, forward, elbows wide. Up, forward, in. Let's look up. Take it forward, open the elbows. Up, forward, elbows, up, forward. We're changing direction. It's going to go out, up, elbows wide, forward, ceiling, wide, forward, ceiling, wide, forward, ceiling, wide. Two more. Last one. Good. That's all got some good, nice stuff for your rotator cuff. If you really maintain the smashing that you're pushing in, you're giving yourself all this isometric work by just holding that. But then when we move with that hold, we're getting a little bit more lubrication inside there. All right, let's stretch our hips. I'm going to do regular old ankle to knee. You can do one leg straight out in front of you if that feels better. Try to get your ankle past your knee if you're in this position. If you're here, you want your ankle right on top of your knee. And in a perfect world, the other ankle is right under your knee. Breathe. Surrender and melt. Can you let go of tension inside your body? Even just letting go of 5% of the tension in your body. Maybe do the hum sound on the exhale. Yeah, you can make like a yummy, delicious, love it. And then come up and unscramble, release, let it go, shift it to the other side, other leg. Yeah, that's the one thing with technology, like, and all the social media platforms and all the platforms is that they're always trying to change and make things better. And Apple does it all the time. And then they actually make it worse. And then sometimes they go back to the way it was before, like Coke, when Coke did the new Coke, and then like, yeah, but everyone likes original Coke. I mean, it's not that we shouldn't change and adapt, but a lot of it is like, well, with the platforms and with the, it's just commercial spinning, like capitalism spinning its wheels and doing things. Letting go of that idea. Just being here right now. And when you're ready, unscramble, bang them up and down, rotate in and out. Slide your feet underneath you. We're going to take your knees forward and then your heels back. If that feels okay, going into the squat and then knees down. Letting your head drop forward. And then taking your butt up to the ceiling, opening your feet wide. Bend one knee, bend the other. Let this ripple through your spine. So an undulation pattern from side to side happening. Take your time. Let it open up. Let your head totally drop. Do not hold extra tension in the back of the neck. See if you can let go. A little bit more. Another 5% of release in your body. Might just be a concept, but even the concept of release of 5% less tension can provide relief. And then come in and roll it all the way up, coming all the way up to the top, coming back to the breath. Inhale, open, lift. See if you can take a little more breath. A couple little sniffs, and then exhale, just let it go. Shake it out, really easy and relaxed. Inhale. When you feel like you've filled up, see if you can sniff in a little bit more. Let it go, shake it out, loose and easy. So my shakeout now has far less tension than my earlier shakeout. Inhale, open, sniff in some more. let it go. All right, TV land, I am going to end this. If anyone in the room needs to leave, go ahead.